imagine the following scenario. You're at work, and you're at the water cooler, and you're talking with your buddy, and it comes up that you went to church last Sunday. And then that one guy at work, you know that one guy, right? He hears you say it, and he comes up and says, "You go to church?" And you say, "Yeah." And he says, "You really believe in God?" And you say, a little more sheepishly, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, how can you believe in God? What evidence do you have?" Now, you might not have found yourself in this particular scenario, but a lot of people have found themselves in one like it. And I get it. It's a daunting idea. Here I am, put on the spot, and I have to give a reason why I believe in a creator of the universe. It seems like such a big concept. Too big, really. You know what most people do in that scenario? They say, "Well, I just do," or "My beliefs are my belief." And they try to escape. I call that pulling the cord. But you don't have to pull the cord. You can engage. You don't believe me? Well, what if I told you that there are plenty of good reasons to believe in God? Here, let's start with just 3. There are a lot more than 3, but let's just start with 3. If I could give you 3, maybe you could think about them. Here's the first one. See, there's this other guy, William Lane Craig, and he's a Christian philosopher and is very, very well known in Christianity for coming up with this, or putting forward, I should say, this argument called the Kalam cosmological argument for the existence of God. And it's real simple. It's only got 3 parts to it. 2 premises and a conclusion. And it says this: everything that begins to exist has a cause. Number 2, the universe began to exist. Number 3, therefore, the universe has a cause. Nothing in there too scary, right? I mean, seems pretty benign. Well, let's break it down, because you might be wondering, how does that equal God? Well, consider this. Number 1, let's talk about that first one. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. I mean, that's been your experience, right? Things don't just randomly pop into existence. If you're sitting at your table reading the newspaper, you don't expect a ham sandwich to just appear on a plate, perfectly made in front of you for no reason. If there's a ham sandwich there, it's because somebody made that ham sandwich. Somebody put all those things together to make that ham sandwich and put it on a plate and set it in front of you. And all the constituent parts of that ham sandwich, including even the plate, all of those have beginnings and reasons for their existence. That's what we expect. That's been our experience every day. In fact, if we could expect things to start randomly popping into existence, well, you probably wouldn't leave your house every morning for work. I mean, who's to say a unicorn doesn't appear at the end of your driveway for no reason, right? So that first one, that's easy. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. I don't know anyone that doesn't believe that. Number 2, the universe has a beginning. Now, this doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal, really. Does it? It doesn't to me. I mean, pretty much everybody believes, whether you're a Christian or a non-Christian, that the universe began to exist. But you know what? That wasn't always the case. For a long, long, long time, atheists used to say that the universe is eternal, meaning it's always been here. There was never a time in which the universe wasn't. But then we started studying the universe, and we discovered that, well, that's just not the case. I don't know how you feel about the Big Bang, and no, not the TV show, but the Big Bang Theory, the real one. I don't know how you feel about it, but you have to at least admit, whether you think it's great or awful, that it does pretty much prove that there was a moment in which the universe wasn't. And if that's the case, in order for the universe to be here now, just like that ham sandwich sitting in front of you on the kitchen table, it would have to have a beginning, a reason for being there. Okay, well, that's the first 2. Everything that begins to exist has a cause. The universe began to exist. Let's get to that third one, the conclusion. Therefore, the universe has a cause. Again, doesn't seem too scary, right? Too hard to believe. If the universe began to exist, and everything that does begin to exist has a cause, then the universe has a cause. You're like, I don't see how that equals God. I mean, that cause could be anything, right? Well, not really. Because you have to remember what we're talking about when we talk about the universe. We're talking about everything. We're talking about all of time and space. Go ahead. Try to think of something that doesn't exist that you know of in time and space. So those causes could not come from within time and space. That cause would have to come from beyond time and space. And not only that, in order to create all of this, I mean, look around you. All of this, that cause would have to be amazingly, incredibly, infinitely powerful. But you know what? That's a lot of adjectives. Why don't we just call it all-powerful? And you know what else it would have to be? It would have to be personal. Now, before you freak out on me, just hear me out. Because I can already hear the wheels spinning. Okay, here comes the pitch. Here's where you put God in. You shoehorn God in there to get to this Jesus talk, right? But just hold up on that. Because think about it. What causes things other than persons? You see, there could be something that exists beyond the universe, time and space, and may or may not be all-powerful if it exists. Really can think of only two things. Abstract objects like numbers, sets, things like that, which some people do believe really exist, or a person. But there's a problem with that first one. Since when does the number 7 do anything? So by process of elimination, guess what we're back to? That person. So here's what we're looking at. A cause that is beyond time and space, eternal, that is infinitely, awesomely, amazingly powerful, all-powerful, and is a personal force. Sure sounds like God to me.